Hello, welcome to another video. And the worst kept secret in video games has finally been revealed. It's actually happening. I had slight doubts of kind of when it was going to happen up until Nintendo pretty much said they were going to reveal it by the end of their fiscal year, which is March of 2025. And that would be the Switch 2 has been revealed. This is big news for a lot of people. It's pretty wild because you have been seeing rumors about a Switch 2 being revealed, data miners, patents, all this crazy stuff. You know, Nintendo fans, they're pretty intense at times, especially when it comes to new consoles, wanting new consoles. It's fair to want a new console. The Switch has been out for a while, honestly, at this point, super successful, and it seemed obvious that there was going to be another Switch in the fact of the first Switch could not perform nearly up to standards of today's gaming, and that was finally revealed today. They had a small reveal trailer which pretty much just seemed like a fine, here you go. There was no big hoopla behind it. It was simply Nintendo dropping a YouTube link and was like, there you go. Here's the new Switch. No one talked about it in the video. Nothing. They just kind of showed off the hardware around it. And it does look significantly better in a lot of different ways. The first being the Joy-Cons are magnetic by the looks of it and have I don't know if it's USB-C or their own kind of port, but they fully click in and are fully connected to the actual tablet. Thank God, because that is the biggest issue with the original Switch is the rails with the Joy-Con drift. There was a huge lawsuit, I'm pretty sure, regarding the Joy-Con drift. They had a lot of issues with the original Joy-Cons and the Switch that Nintendo kind of just didn't necessarily care about for how many years. But the screen is also bigger. I haven't looked into, I feel like people have listed off, certain things with it, it's going to play 1080p, stuff like that. I assume that it is going to just be a little beefier. I don't think it's going to be on par with an Xbox Series X or PS5 or anything like that. Mainly because I don't think Nintendo has to. I think they know they don't give a shit about that kind of spec advantage. They know that they're not going to produce something that much. There has been no price, to my knowledge, how much the Switch 2 is going to be. I would assume it is cheaper than, PS5 or a Series S or Series X, sorry. Though it is Nintendo, nothing ever goes on sale. They're pretty stingy. It could be close to it because they know they can. The design overall just looks way better. It looks a little bulkier, but in a way that you can still, travel with it. Something like having a Steam Deck, which is bigger than a Nintendo Switch, has just shown me that you can play games with a bigger portable thing. It's not the end of the world. I hope that ergonomically the Switch 2 is better than the Switch 1, because anytime I hold my Switch after playing a Steam Deck, it's kind of miserable, just being honest, because it is so small, so flat. It's a very different experience than a Steam Deck. And I don't think the Switch 2 is going to be up to that standard, obviously. But I do have big kind of hopes for the Switch 2. Big plus on the Switch 2 is that they're doing the same kind of cartridges for Switch games. So every Switch original game is going to work on the Switch 2. Kudos. Huge news. Nintendo, I think, is going to be the best company when it comes to transitioning into a new generation. And the fact of they're going to have probably the games for 1 year that come out for the Switch 2 be out for the Switch 1. And then after that, Switch 2. That's it. That's all you're playing. If you want to play them, get a Switch 2. I feel like they're going to do that to drive people to get the Switch 2 versus people just banking on having this original Switch for years, like how the PS4. If you had a PS4 Pro, you didn't have to worry about a PS5. It felt like for 2 years before there was anything that was actually worth going out and getting a PS5 for. And I think another big kind of thing around this is that it just shows off how, yes, Nintendo's competing with Xbox and PlayStation in the overall gaming market, but they understand that they kind of have this kind of buffer area of the pie where Xbox and PlayStation just will probably never touch it. It's never going to get smaller for Nintendo, it feels like. They have this part of the gaming market pretty much on lock. They understand that, and they don't give a shit what PlayStation or Xbox is doing. They're just going to be Nintendo. And honestly, that's why Nintendo has been successful for however many years. They've been around since the 80s, even, honestly. They've been around forever because they don't care about everyone else. They're going to do what they think is right. They're going to make the kind of, innovative ideas. The Wii. It was crazy at the time. I'm sure sitting in a board meeting and talking about that. Huge success. The Wii U, huge failure. Switch, huge success. They're the ones that do the kind of wacky stuff in the gaming market that very quickly turns into normal. It goes from wacky idea into this just makes sense. They've done it multiple times. And yes, they've failed doing it multiple times. I'm sure it's going to continue to happen. Nintendo doesn't give a shit. They don't sit there, look at their failures, get scared, and then go, okay, guys, we have to play it safe. That just sounds like Xbox. Xbox is the pure, oh my god, we have to try and just be PlayStation, but do it safer and end up being being a failure. Realistically, that's why they haven't, they had no identity, I would say, Xbox. Nintendo has an identity. They live by that identity, and they'll die by that identity, realistically. And I'm bringing all this up because they're releasing this in between generation cycles, basically, with PlayStation and Xbox. We're in the middle of this generation. People were like, yeah, they're definitely going to have to release a Switch 2 around 2021 just to keep up with Xbox and PS5. Nintendo didn't give a shit. They're just doing their own thing. They saw it and probably were like, oh, that's cool. Let's continue being us. And are now releasing this in this time frame, which probably is the perfect time frame for Nintendo in how long it's been since the Switch. The market for new Switch 2 games, like a new Mario game, a new Mario Kart, stuff like that, I think is going to work well. And that's why they've been successful, in my opinion. I'm slightly in disbelief that it legitimately happened. I'm very excited. Do I think I'm going to get it right away? Probably not, just because I don't play the Switch enough. The type of games that they release aren't fully what, interests me. But every Nintendo fan, I'm sure you're thrilled. They announced that it's coming out in 2025, so obviously the assumption is fall. I wouldn't be surprised if they did September-ish, just because Nintendo's a little different. That's just my thought, but who knows, we'll see. I'm super excited. Happy for all Nintendo fans. Happy for gaming, because anytime Nintendo does something big, it's typically a big deal. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I hope you have a great weekend. Peace out. Go Birds.